Hi everyone, and welcome back to Purpose to Love. My name is Randy, and today's topic I want to talk about dignity. How can we show dignity to those with disabilities? As a caregiver, as a teacher, student, therapist, parent, there are so many ways, and it looks a little different probably when it comes to parents, but there are so many ways we can show dignity to our loved ones, to the ones that we serve and we work with. So I want to talk about that a little bit for today. And I really kind of am going to focus more so on adults with disabilities, so those who are caregivers or staff within the human services field. So let's get started. And I want to say this, I think that there are so many wonderful staff out there who are caring, kind, creative, fun, who work so hard for the clients, and they look at their job as not just a job. And then there are some staff who do look at their jobs as though they're just jobs. They don't see the professionalism and the importance in them. And sometimes people are jaded. People are tired of all that they're going through, and they have their own lives, and so sometimes they bring that to work, and there's just kind of a lack of engagement and energy and expectation for the individual being served, which all of that kind of decreases the ability to give quality care, dignity, honor, and respect. So let's talk about what is dignity. What does it mean? Well, the definition I have here is the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. So that's what dignity means. Giving honor, being the person being worthy of honor and respect. And we all are, right? We all are worthy of that. And especially our individuals that we serve, even though we're pouring out and we're giving to them and we're sharing with them and we're teaching them and we're cleaning them and bathing them and clothing them and feeding them, all those things, like even though we're doing all those things for them, they are still very much worthy of the honor and respect. So what does that look like? Actually, I'm going to add a link below and it talks about dignity and the different ways you can show it. In trainings, in human services, they share some of these tactics and these ways in which you can give honor and respect to the person being served. So this might be redundant, but I think it's a great way to remind ourselves, all of us, how to do that. So one of the first things I have on my list is to care for the individual by giving them the attention that they need. Attention is important, It's not enough for you to just be present and just physically being there, but it's important that we give them attention, like engage them, communicating with them. Check in with them in the mornings when they come in the afternoon, check in with them, see what they want to do, give them choices. In the evening, do checkouts, engaging. And of course, you're not going to talk all day long, but what we don't want to do is be on our phones, talking to other staff, having full conversations, and just ignoring the client. That doesn't show respect or honor to people who are worthy of it. So that would be my first one, attention, giving attention. So the second thing that's on my list is communicating with the individuals as though they are adults. Watch your tone. Be mindful of how you're speaking to them. Don't talk to them like this. They're not children. This is adult program services. So you're working with people who are adults. Yes, their mindset or their comprehension might be younger, but it doesn't mean you have to talk to them like babies. It would drive me insane when I would have staff or, teachers or, TAs, whenever I was working, wherever I was working, who would talk to the 15-year-old, the 25-year-old, the 45-year-old, like they were 5, and that would drive me insane. So be mindful of how you are talking with them. It doesn't mean that you have to use big words that are confusing for them that they're not going to understand. You can still be simple in what you're saying and clear in what you're saying, but you don't have to talk to them like a baby. That's not showing them honor or respect. And it doesn't mean you're cursing at them either. It doesn't mean you're just talking to them like you would talk to your friends at home and just, or your family or whoever. You're still mindful that this is a professional job and you have to talk to them in a certain manner. So, just be mindful of tone, right? Watch how you're saying things, and be careful with what you're saying, especially if you're talking to other staff. There are some individuals who are still higher functioning who can take that information somewhere else. So just be mindful of what you're saying with other people around and in their presence. So the third thing on my list is apologize. Now, we all make mistakes. We all, say the wrong thing. We might raise or yell, raise our voice or yell because, they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing and you're frustrated. We all make mistakes. We forget things sometimes. But the important part is to own it. It doesn't matter if you're having an issue with someone who's higher functioning or lower functioning. Doesn't matter if they're verbal or nonverbal sign or whatever. It doesn't matter if you made a mistake. You own it and you apologize to them sincerely, and you make sure that you let them know that how you responded or what you did wasn't okay and it wasn't right, because they need to know and learn and hear the difference in what's right and what's wrong. They need to know how they should be treated so that they can hopefully one day advocate for better treatment, or they can be aware of when someone's doing something that's not right. And we have to do that. We have to hold ourselves accountable, hold each other accountable who we're working with. So apologize. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference in your relationship with them, and it makes you more aware of how you're responding and what you're doing with them. I know I had a client that I was working with, an individual. He was nonverbal. He used some signs to communicate. He could hear, but sometimes he would do things that would just get on my last nerves. And I remember I was just like so fed up. Had a bad day, and he was doing something, and I just was like, "Stop it!" And I was like upset, and I yelled at him. And it wasn't necessary. Like, it was like something very minor on his end that I was like fed up. And I felt bad, and it wasn't okay. Like, I yelled at him, like, what? And I had to pull him aside, and I said, look, I apologize for yelling at you. That was not okay. And we talked about it. And, I talked about it. And he listened, but I asked if he understood. And he said yes, but I don't know if he did. But it doesn't matter if he did or not. Like, the point is to show him dignity. He's worthy of that honor and respect. So apologize. So the fourth thing that I have on my list, though I know we could add more to this list of how we can show honor, respect, dignity to a person with disabilities, the fourth thing I have is appearance, clothing, hair, shoes, putting people together. Now, this is not only for residential settings, but for day program as well. It's really just about helping the person maintain their appearance. So residentially, I understand that there are a lot of individuals who are more challenging to work with than others, who don't like to get dressed or shower, and who have issues, who are maybe very tactile defenses. That means they don't like the way certain things feel on them. They're sensory, very sensitive, and they may not like water on them. I've had a student who actually didn't like water showers at all, and so it was very difficult to keep her looking put together. It was really challenging, actually. And but there's some who don't like water, showers and baths, and who don't like socks, or who don't like combs or brushes, and so they don't like that. And so that's where you bring in behavior specialists or other specialists who can come in and help work with you as a team. We can't be afraid of our behavior specialists and our other therapists. They're not there to give you more work. They're just there to make your life easier, to help you work better with the individual. So please, you got to work together. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Making sure their clothes are on properly. If they need elastic, waisted pants or anything like that, make sure it's fitting on them so it's not sliding down. Making sure that they're getting new clothes when it's appropriate. They're wearing the right clothes during the right season. That's really, really important. And I know, sometimes residentially, I've thought when I've worked in residential settings, like, oh, it's a casual atmosphere, or they're just going to go straight to program and come back. So, you don't need to have to put a lot of work into making them all fancy. It's not about making them fancy. It's just about putting them together, making sure, their face is clean. When you're at day program, if someone has, boogers and they can't wipe it properly, if they can't wipe their face properly, then you have to go in there and help them. Allow them to do it and do their very best, but then you go in there and you help make adjustments. You still want them to be independent and not depend on you for everything and to practice some of those skills, but if they're having a hard time wiping off their face completely, then you got to go in there and help them finish the job. So appearance is really important, making sure that they look appropriate and presentable to the world, because they're putting themselves out there and they're representing you as a staff. So, appearance. And I just want to say thank you to all the staff who are working really hard, especially during this time of COVID-19 and quarantine. You guys are still showing up to work, encouraging and loving others, and doing your best work. You're coming up with fun ideas and activities. You're creative. You're taking care of them, making sure their needs are being met and engaging them through the day. You're doing lots of hard work. So I want to say thank you to you. You guys are doing awesome work. And for those who are staff or caregivers who you feel like this is not what you want to do, you're not happy in it, I think the best thing you can do is find something that's going to make you happy. Find something that's going to bring you joy so you can do your best work, And when we're working with people in general, it's really important that we are available to them. And if you're feeling empty and tired and worn out, if there's a way where you can get rejuvenated and come back into work, awesome. But if you feel like you can't, then it's okay to find something else that makes you happy and brings you joy. Because these people, they deserve dignity and respect, and people who are going to be able to be present for them in every way. So, but thank you to everyone who's doing such hard work right now, especially in human services, the therapists and the, agencies, and trying to figure out what to do. All we can do is do one thing at a time, right? So thank you so much. So that really concludes my video for today. Again, dignity and some things that we can do to make sure we're giving dignity, honor, and respect to those who are being served. We talked about, giving them the attention that they need, engaging them. We talked about speaking to them like adults, because they are. We talked about apologizing, owning up. If you made a mistake, own up to it, apologize. And then we talked about appearance, making sure their hair and their clothes and their shoes, everything looks neat and as well presented as possible. So that's all I have for now, but I know that there's more, so please, if you have any other thoughts or comments, leave a comment below. If you like this video, please share, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Take care and remember, you're purposed to love. Bye.